Hello, is this Edgar?
That's Edgar.
Yeah, this is Peterson. Do you have what I want?
Perhaps this.
$85? Dude, if I were you, I wouldn't pay it.
Don't worry, I won't.
Just put it on your tab, Mr. Peterson.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Nice. I'll send someone over shortly to pick it up, Edgar.
That's Edgar.
Yeah. Jenkins, I'm gonna need you to set up an emergency disciplinary meeting.
Yes, you'll need HR, legal, internal affairs, CEO, CFO, and CDO.
CDO?
Chief Disciplinary Officer.
Yeah, that'd be great. Oh, and make sure Jeff and Doug get an invitation to this party.
All right, class. I'm sure a few astute developers out there question the answer man's approach of constructing user objects versus user functions for our menu objects.
Look, this is a lot of tosh. Every time you load a user object, then you're duplicating code. But what if the functionality needs to change? The old menu picks won't work for crying out loud, so why not use the user functions and then have the menu selections call them?
Ah, I know that VEE is a cross-cultural product with users from every country across the globe. But would you mind asking your question in English? Sounds to me like you're wondering why I haven't associated user functions with menu selections. Want to know why?
Yeah.
I'll tell you. It's harder to do. When you create your menu selection program files, you can only add objects and lines that are selectable. Now you can make your menu selection a function call object, but that still leaves one big problem. Where does the user function live? If it's not already in the VEE program, how can the menu selection load it? These are all questions that the answer man will now answer. Let's say I have a library of user functions that I want called from my menu. How can I get this library of functions, hint, to load?
The import library object?
Correct.
Oh.
Don't worry, we'll fix it in post.
The import library object?
Correct. But remember that the import library object loads a VEE program file only when it executes. So before any menu selection can call your user function, you must first execute an import library object. Here's one way to do this. Like the system menu, the Excel menu is a custom menu which provides easy access to basic Excel functions. However, the system menu accesses functionality from the .NET framework, which is already loaded. This isn't true for the Excel menu, which accesses an external VEE library. So that's why one of the first selections is Initialize Excel Library. When we open up this user object, you'll notice that the very first operation performed is importing a library. In this case, a secured runtime VEE program called excellibrary.vxe. Even though this is a secured library, you can still view the contents in the Explorer. Let's run this and pay particular attention to the Program Explorer. Now, I don't have time to get into all the details on imported libraries, but you should know that a library gets tagged with a name. This particular snippet uses XLLib. All subsequent calls to user functions in this library are in the form xllib.userfunctionname. Here's a call to the initialize user function.
So answer man, anyone who uses this Excel library first needs to execute this initialize object. What happens if they execute Excel menu picks before calling initialize?
Excellent question. Answer: it generates a VEE error. Want to see a cool way around this, class?
Yeah.
This is advanced and a topic they won't teach you in that VEE 101 course. This is what I like to call been here before. This is actually a general trick you can use many ways in VEE, but it's really applicable for determining if a library has been loaded. It's simple, but cool. Like the answer man. Check out this code. These two sequenced objects import a library and then assign a flag variable to true following the import. This object here calls one of the user functions in this library. So all you need is a conditional object like an if-then-else to check the flag variable beforehand, right? Well, not quite. The first time you run this program, this variable will not have any value, even if it's declared. And guess what happens when you execute a VEE expression that accesses a variable with no value?
It like generates an error box?
Yeah. So we need to trap this error and not allow VEE to stop our program. Let's load an object which accesses a variable. I could choose an if then else or a formula, but I'm going to load a get variable object. And naturally it would access the same flag variable we assign after the library is imported. To trap errors, we simply add an error output. This error pin will only fire if the variable specified does not exist. So when this happens, we execute the import library and variable assignment. If no error happens, then we know we've already done this, so we do nothing. After this object executes, we can then call our user functions, safe in the knowledge that our library has been loaded. So just insert code like this before each menu selection, and you'll be safe. If this is too complicated for you, then just use an initialize object. In any case, for long-term use and easier maintenance, using imported libraries like we've shown is the preferred approach by the answer man. But you certainly don't have to do this. Okay, I'm sure that. I told you not to call me here. You're the only one. You know I do. Uh-huh. Okay, I'll be home in an hour, Mother. Okay, class. The answer man has to take care of business. Buenos nachos. Hit the road.
There you go, sir.
Is the firing squad ready?
Yes, the disciplinary meeting is all set, sir.
Good. I have another job for you. Go to this address, pick up a package, and come straight back to the meeting. Any questions?
No, Horace. No.
Good afternoon, ladies.
I can't believe Peterson, of all people, is throwing a party for us.
Yeah, this must be good with all the top brass coming.
You think they're onto us?
Peterson and Minnie P? They don't have a clue.
I sure hope he's right, folks. Anyway, there's one last topic to cover. Determining where your menu selections are located.
And here to tell you all about it is the VEE Lady.